Okay, so today's news: Putin's new land grab is dangerous for Ukraine and the world. Russia's new land grab in Ukraine is an act of geopolitical piracy that will make the war more dangerous, add new risk to the West's strategic calculations, and deal a long-term challenge to the international rule of law. President Vladimir Putin is due to preside over a Kremlin ceremony to formalize an annexation process of four occupied regions that will slice away thousands of miles of Ukraine's heavy industrial and agricultural wealth. In effect, the move amounts to stealing territory from a sovereign power and declaring it part of Russia after an unprovoked invasion. A clear violation of international law, and one reason why much of the world will not accept it. The absorption of the Ukrainian regions, which recalls the annexation of Crimea by Russia in 2014, will not change the reality of a war that has backfired on Putin, inflicted a bloody toll on his forces, and is stoking unusual dissent inside Russia. But it is a ruse produced through what the West says are sham referendums that creates an alternative reality about the conflict that will have several important consequences. So for Americans, future U.S. global power, and the cost of democracy, even if the war 7 months on may feel to many Americans like a faraway dispute brewed from an ancient enmities on the edge of Europe. This is about UK. The UK economy still hasn't recovered from the pandemic. Now it's on the ropes again. There was a good news and bad news. Data about the UK economy: it grew marginally in the second quarter of the year rather than shrinking as previously estimated, but the latest update from the Office for National Statistics also showed that the United Kingdom is the only G7 economy that has not recovered fully from the pandemic, with GDP still at 2%, smaller than at the start of 2020. And according to the Bank of England, the economy is most likely already shrinking again, with inflation heading to 11%. The important thing was that the UK is struggling to grow and facing a probable deeper recession down the road, and today's revision doesn't change that. It may be only time before it does recover, given the crisis unleashed by Prime Minister Liz Truss's decision last week to unveil huge unfunded tax cuts alongside a massive package of energy subsidies that gamble spooked financial markets and sent borrowing costs for the government, businesses, and households soaring. So an emergency intervention by the Bank of England calmed markets and prevented the collapse of some pension funds.